Hello world, it's Sumi and today we're talking about fatality in astrology and the nodes. Is your fate sealed in astrology? The answer is actually yes and no. Why yes? Natal chart is like a blueprint of a person. It contains information about psychology and possible events in different spheres of life. A good astrologer may predict your future and tell you about your past. So isn't it fate? Why not? Symbolism of each zodiac sign is broad and one archetype can manifest itself differently, still conveying the same abstract idea. For example, Pisces is everything that distances you from a material world. It can be alcohol, drugs, or spirituality, religion, something like this. And one person actually during one life can experience different manifestations of the Pisces archetype. They can be like drug addict, artist, spiritual person at the same time or during one life. And to predict an astrologer should know native's life track. Unlike traditional astrology, modern astrology deviates from the idea of destiny and it focuses more on the ways you can work on your natal chart. But there is part of your natal chart that is still considered to be fatal, and it's the nodes. The nodes come from Vedic astrology and they represent deities, Rahu and Ketu. The myth is that there used to be Asura Swarpkhanu, the demon responsible for solar eclipses. He tricked other deities and drank Amitra, the elixir of immortality. And the second he drank the elixir, he was beheaded. So he was divided into two, still remaining immortal. Rahu, the head without the body, and Ketu, body without the head. And Rahu is believed to eat sun or moon, causing the eclipses. Now, let's talk about the astronomy behind the nodes. We have the ecliptic, is the orbital plane of the Earth around the sun, and we have the orbit of the moon. Nodes are points where moon orbit crosses the ecliptic. The ascending or north node or Rahu is where moon moves into the northern ecliptic hemisphere, and the descending or south or node or Ketu is where moon moves into the southern ecliptic hemisphere. This is why the nodes are intertwined with eclipses. An eclipse is basically a new moon or full moon around the nodes, and a new moon is an astrological conjunction of the sun and the moon, and the full moon is an astrological opposition of the sun and the moon. Usually they don't cross each other because the ecliptic and the orbit of the moon don't intersect, but then a new moon or full moon happen around the nodes. They sun or moon, they can like cover each other from the point of the earth. Now let's talk about the meaning of the nodes. In many traditions they are connected to fate and karma. If important points of your natal chart conjunct the nodes, you are considered to have less control over these areas of your life. Often Ketu is known to be something that comes from your past life, and many astrologers say that you shouldn't mess with Ketu because it's a learned lesson and there is no need to repeat it. And you should head for Rahu during this life. But I disagree personally with this opinion because Ketu can be a talent or a gift that comes from your past life. If you have some planet in conjunction with Ketu, this can be really easy for you. You just natively know how to do it, how to work with it, and it's something you should definitely use in this lifetime. So the goal is not to refuse Ketu and head to Rahu, but learn how to balance out these two archetypes. And if you want to understand how the nodes affect your life and if you're in alignment with your karma and nodes, you should pay attention to the events that happen in a 9-year cycle, because 18 years is the cycle of the nodes, and 9 years it's antiphase. So we have antiphase and the cycle of the nodes, antiphase, cycle of the nodes. When you're 18, 27, 36, pay attention to the events that happen to you and if they fit into the symbolism of your Rahu and Ketu, like their sign or planets in conjunction, you understand that it's a manifestation of the node in your life. For example, my Ketu conjuncts Uranus in Aquarius, and at the age of 18, I started learning astrology, which is a Uranus symbolism and an Aquarius symbolism. And if a person has a planet in conjunction with Ketu, it's very often that there's something passionate about and gifted at, and it's something that comes easily and naturally for them, and it's a shame not to use it in your life. So what should you pay attention to when you look at your notes? If your nodes don't conjunct anything, you shouldn't pay that much attention to them. If your nodes conjunct planets, you should pay attention to the planet, to its symbolism, to the house that it rules, to the house that it is placed in, and to the sign. And if your nodes conjunct cusps, this placement is also important, and you should pay attention to the houses that that are in conjunction with the nodes. And now I want to provide an example of how can the nodes show something fatal in a chart. It's a story about a musician called Dimonova who had Rahu Sun conjunction in Pisces. If you're afraid of death and fate, you shouldn't probably watch this part. In 2017, his band Cream Soda gained popularity when they released track Volga. It's the name of the river. And here are some lyrics of the song translated into English. And 6 years later, at the age of 35, he had drowned in the Volga River trying to save his brother in spring. So everything that he said, wrote in his lyrics, actually was like a prediction for his own death. And Pisces is the symbolism of music and water. So it's how Rahu Sun conjunction manifested in his life with this tragic event. If you don't understand anything about your notes, you can write in comments your birth date, birth time, and city, and I will tell you where your notes are. Look up your notes if you're not afraid of fate and karma and death.